Well, I've been absent from making videos, and there's a new Punisher special on Disney+. Thank you, Marvel Overlords, for keeping me relevant. So yeah, The Punisher One Last Kill is out, and it is not good at all. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about this movie, mostly because it's only 50 minutes long, and it really is just your standard Punisher content you could ask for. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the Punisher. I feel like he's a character that was vehemently misunderstood by a lot of dumb people who think he's supposed to be some kind of military right-wing micro-dick representation, when he's been a victim of the failures of the military and justice system, and how that failure can lead people down a path of an endless cycle of violence with no resolution in sight. You got dumb fucks driving around in their stupid ass trucks with a Blue Lives Matter Punisher logo. Like, brother, this dude fucking hates cops. Anyways, my point is that I think the people behind this new special are in this subsect of human beings. Now, I love Jon Bernthal as much as the next person. I myself have engaged with a lot of let me tell you something memes, but my brother in Christ, who the fuck thought it was a good idea to let this man co-write the script? Pushing aside the cliche action tropes, a lot of the dialogue is just told to us, and there's not an ounce of subtlety in the writing. It's kind of like those jokes that people make about Netflix dialogue, where they say what they're gonna do and then they do it, while reminding the audience of what's going on because they're too TikTok brain to pay attention. Yeah, that's basically what the dialogue is. Even the driving force for the special is presented to us in a very awkward way. It's basically Frank Castle being sad, and a mob boss widow unleashes her henchmen on Frank after he killed her family. This information is given to us in the middle of the movie, and I think it would have been better to have the movie open with him taking out this crime family and having his mental instability play out as he has to survive a whole city block of people trying to kill him. I'm not one to say I could do better at writing, but this is pretty basic writing structures. It shouldn't be hard to make me invested in a guy who leads a one-man war on crime after facing a traumatic event in his life and taking arms against the people the law failed to protect his family from. And that leads me to my other critique. You see, there were articles about how this special focuses on what the fans have demanded from the Punisher, how it follows Frank at his lowest point and at his most violent. However, my issue with this is that we've seen this story told before in a much better way. Daredevil Season 2 is my favorite interpretation of this character, and it gives us everything about Frank's fucked up worldview and how truly broken he is. We see his pain through his actions, we see it in how he carries himself. Whenever this special reminds us of how sad he is and all that he's lost, I didn't really give a fuck. I've already seen this before. Come on guys, there's a comic run where Frank becomes Frankenstein. I thought this was something new for the fans. Even when the movie's being cringe or there's a dumbass line, the action is sorta serviceable. On one hand, I appreciate that Marvel didn't hold back and they actually let them do some pretty brutal shit in this special. It's called The Punisher, and I'm glad there are moments where he really fucks some dudes up. However, on the other hand, a lot of the action is filmed in handheld shaky cam, and it's not exactly the most discernible action sequences. It's honestly kind of annoying how it'll have a flow to the camera work and then immediately switch over to an ugly ass multiple cut angle shot. This special just felt very juvenile. That's the best way I can describe it. Even when the director does something creative, it's always followed up by a moment or a scene that feels like an excuse to show Jon Bernthal walking around and hilariously play scenes of crime and chaos. Sure, it's a passion project by people who definitely tried making something good, and you can tell they had a lot of fun making it. But this is the kind of movie that wouldn't get a wide release. This feels like DVD special features, which I guess is kind of true considering the fact it's a Disney Plus special presentation. But I still wanted a little more out of it. Werewolf by Night isn't exactly a very complex movie either, but it has a lot of creativity and feels like it stands alone from the greater MCU. It was something different, and it didn't feel like a way to cash in on a character that's already been done way better in other shows. Werewolf by Night actually had something to prove. I guess that's on me for wanting a little more from the multi-billion-dollar film company. I know a lot of you probably think I'm being too mean to this movie, and you're probably right. But I don't know, man. This shit just wasn't for me. It recycles a lot of themes we've seen done way better in other series, and it doesn't really have a lot of moments outside of a few good kills and monkey brain action to forego our boredom. Yeah, I told you this was gonna be quick. And honestly, I don't really give two thinly leafed fucks to continue. I didn't like this special, and don't let this man cook ever again. I guess I'll give The Punisher one last kill of 4 out of 10, 3 out of 10. Sure, whatever, who cares.